Flint's Classic Rock Authority, 103.9 The Fox, ZZ Top, and Tush. Fenech on the Fox hanging out. The hour brought to you by our friends at Vehicle Accessories. Hey, did you know that Vehicle Accessories is the best place in town to get hitched? Light duty to heavy hauling, Vehicle Accessories, your hitch headquarters. That's right. They've got you covered with fifth wheels, goosenecks, bumper pulls, bike racks. Get hitched at Vehicle Accessories, Miller Road in Flint. Expert installation on-site. Vehicle Accessories creates the difference. So we're about a half hour, actually less than a half hour away from the Fox Lounge, and the world-famous Andre Peters is going to be in tonight. But you've got a very special guest coming in the studio this evening, Andre.
I certainly do.
He's actually in the studio right now. Butch Patrick, what's happening?
Hey, I was just listening to that commercial, and the guy's got a good gimmick with getting hitched, but he should do it in an Elvis outfit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So how are you, sir? Thanks for coming to Flint.
Thank you. Thanks to the General Motors and the Back to the Bricks folks for bringing me in.
Now, okay, Eddie Munster, I have so many questions because, I grew up watching you, idolizing you. I thought it would be so cool to have a monster and Grandpa under the stairs and, Lurch and everything like that. And Fred Gwynn, it took me a while. Like, as a kid, you didn't realize that he wasn't Herman Munster.
I know.
What was it like working with him? He just seems like so much fun.
Well, Fred and Al were big stars coming from Car 54, and they were quite a comedy team.
Right.
Really, some of their comedy routines are right up there with Laurel and Hardy and Abbott and Costello if you really watch them. But they were great guys. Fred taught me a lot about the acting techniques, and Al taught me about life. So between the two of them, I got quite an education.
That's very cool. So let me ask you this now. How sick are you of hearing the Munsters theme song? Does it ever get old hearing it or no?
I'll give it a 75 because it's easy to dance to.
Nicely done. And then the other important question that everyone's dying to know, what's your favorite kind of cheese? Is it Munster cheese?
I'll take Swiss. Although Munster's a close second.
So now let me ask you this. I do have I guess somewhat of a serious question, and I'm going to leave the main stuff for Andre. But when you sit there and you look back, like I'm looking at this picture of everybody, black and white, TV's just not like that anymore. How does it feel to be a part of TV back when it was awesome?
Well, it's funny. I make mention of when I was growing up and doing my TV bit in the 60s, I was lucky enough to be on some classic non-reality-based shows. Mr. Ed, My Favorite Martian.
Yes.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Yes.
It was really great comedy back then because it was non-reality-based. People lived real lives. They wanted to come home and just be entertained and have a laugh. So comedy writers and comedians in the early 60s were having a field day with these non-reality scripted shows, and The Munsters was one of the best.
Absolutely.
Yes, it was.
It really, truly was. So, thank you so much for coming by. I know that you're a huge fan of cars and being part of Back to the Bricks. What is your favorite classic car?
Ooh, classic cars. Well, my first car was a 69 Mach 1, so I got a little bit of a soft spot for that. Although I bought a 69 427 Corvette, which I really liked a lot, black on black, very fast car. And then I'm a big Cuda fan, so I'm actually all over the place. Ford, Chevy, Mopar. Anything from about 68 to 72.
Awesome. Very cool. And I got to say, on behalf of TV viewers everywhere, it's nice to see a child actor grow up and be an upstanding citizen and doing such fantastic things. And Andre's going to talk about a song that, right?
Yeah.
It's a surprise. I don't want to blow it.
Yeah, we won't blow it.
I don't want to blow it. So get ready. Stick around, if you will. Butch Patrick going to be in the Fox Lounge with Andre Peters. And to get us there, 40 minutes of nonstop Fox Rock coming up in a moment with 103.9 The Fox.
Ladies and gentlemen.
103.9 The Fox, Flint's Classic Rock Authority, Ozzy, Crazy Train, Ozzy coming down to DTE in October. I do believe it's like September 15th, something like that. Go to the website, classicfox.com, click on the concert tab, and you shall be just smarter than the guy next to you. AP just getting in, ready to have some fun. Back to the Bricks will be the topic of order tonight, man. We got the boys back in here. We got Al, we got Steve. How are you?
Rolling like new hires.
New hires? I think you said new tires.
Well, that too.
All right, it's going on right now. It's already started.
This second evening rolling cruise got off to a little bit of slow start because of the weather, but when I came over here, the people were coming out and they were lining Saginaw Street. More cars are coming out, and so it's going to be a good evening. Looks like the rain is starting to dissipate, and so we expect a good evening tonight.
All right, so it's happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's all up and down Saginaw Street from Grand Blanc all the way to downtown. Well, we had Butch in here, Butch Patrick. We had him in here a little while ago with Jeremy, and welcome once again. We thank you really big time for being here, man.
Oh, thank you, Andre. I appreciate it very much.
This is pretty surreal talking to Butch Patrick, a.k.a. Eddie Munster. So thanks for being here. What are you guys going to be doing down there? Eddie's going to be signing and showing your car?
Since I got my Munster coach and drag and tribute vehicles, I have this giant trailer, so I'm able to not only bring the cars along, but we bring a whole, almost like a brick and mortar store with us.
Really?
We set up a big merchandise tent. We always have free photo ops available. We have a lot of merchandise in case you don't have a Munster collection and you want to start one, or if you have a Munster collection, we sign a lot of merchandise for people when they come down to visit us.
So I see that you're not very interested in talking about the Munsters at all.
No, not at all. No.
Stick around. We got way more to talk about. We got to set up Back to the Bricks. Don't forget about the concert tomorrow night. Who's playing? Motortown All-Stars. And Dave Magnus.
Dave Langness is going to be our warm-up, and the Motortown All-Stars. Yep, Motown.
All right, what time does that start?
Well, the concert starts at 7 o'clock.
There you go.
Yep.
Who takes the stage first, Dave or Motortown All-Stars?
Dave's first for 45 minutes, and we have a surprise, but we can't tell you tonight.
We're not going to tell you
tonight. And then at 8 o'clock.
We're not going to tell you tonight. All right, stick around. Don't go anywhere. Back to the Bricks. Butch Patrick in the studio with us right now, and, of course, Steve and Al and you. We're hanging out. A little Edgar Winter action going on. Kind of fitting. Frankenstein. 103.9, the Fox, Flint's Classic Rock Authority, Edgar Winter Group, Frankenstein. That kind of falls in what we were talking about. Of course, talking about Butch Patrick, the Munsters, Back to the Bricks. It's all going on right now. And, of course, the Frankenstein thing fits in with Ed Gwynn, your co-star over there with the Munsters.
Yeah, really? How about that?
Yeah.
He was the level-headed one in the family.
You can hear it from the other room. That was a great one. Jeremy's just cracking up. But you're going to be back there. Let's talk about the here and now. Let's talk about what you're going to be doing down at Back to the Bricks. You're going to be setting up. You're going to have a whole merch booth. You got everything going down there.
Got a big 30 by 30 tent. I think I'm going to be right in the center of the square there. I'm looking forward to it. I've checked it out. It's a really great location, and I understand that this place really gets a lot of foot traffic, a lot of cars, a lot of good stuff. So
it's going to be
should be a good time
with you here. It's really going to be.
We're going to be there Friday night and Saturday.
It's going to be huge. People are going to figure out that you're there. They're going to hear this, and it's going to be even crazier than it usually is. It's grown exponentially over the years, Steve.
Sure has. But what we're really proud about is we're bringing that concert back downtown to Flint where it belongs. So. That's what we're real proud of.
It's happening tomorrow night. What time's the concert start?
7 o'clock.
And Dave Langness is the opening act, and then you get the Motortown All-Stars coming up about an hour later.
Yes, yep.
There you go. And you brought Butch Patrick with us.
And we brought him along, yeah. We brought him along.
I'm still kind of like starstruck here, but your book, when'd your book come out?
Well, the book's been out. I had it come out exactly on the date that Munsters aired of September 24th in 1964. The book came out in 2014, 50 years to the day. But as I was completing the book, the guy that put it together says it's called Munster Memories, a mini coffin table book. Well, the original one was the coffin table book. The paperback is a mini coffin.
Okay.
But I told him, I said, my memory, it wasn't really my favorite memory, wasn't about the Munsters because that was my job. But when I had some time and I could go explore, what do little 12-year-old kids like to do? Little boys, they like to go where they're not supposed to go. And the Universal back lot was probably the world's greatest backyard in the world. So I had a chance to go not only explore, but to hang out, with Ernie Borgnine and Tim Conway at the McHale's Navy Lagoon, or Charlton Heston when he was doing El Cid, or, Paul Newman and Lana Turner were next door doing Torn Curtain. There's just all kinds of great stuff going on.
That's amazing. The names you drop and the names you got to just hang out with as a kid, And
oh, yeah, watch out. There goes Alfred Hitchcock.
That is so cool. Who's your favorite person that you met along the way? I mean, seriously.
Over the years, I have three names that come to mind, and I only met Rod Serling really briefly, but I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan, and I was doing at Paramount, I was doing Lidsville when I was 18. But when I was a kid, I met Walt Disney when I was 8 years old, and I was a big fan of Disney, and I did a lot of Disney work. But as an adult, Evel Knievel.
Yeah.
Bar none was my buddy, and Evel was such a presence that when I had a chance to meet him and work with him, we became good friends, and he probably had the most presence of anybody I ever met.
See, anything that I've ever read about you doesn't even mention that.
You're in the presence of greatness when you're around Evel.
That's cool. Did you watch the what was the guy that did the jump?
I did, and it was very impressive, but it still isn't the same as when he was doing it. The bike he did, it was not the same bike. Even though they say it wasn't like Robbie's bike where it was a monoshock. Yeah. It still wasn't quite what Evel was doing. Evel was doing crazy stuff, and nobody could duplicate it.
Well, even while they were showing Robbie doing it, the pre-show, there was a 2-hour, 3-hour lead up. but they were showing Evil's original jump. He did it on a piece of plywood.
Yeah, it's just a different. It's just a whole different thing. Yeah.
I mean, you see Robbie's and it's like really nice and stable, and Evil Knievel's like
the weight of the bike, the travel, the shocks, the technology, and the design of the bikes is so far advanced from what he was doing back then. But still, what the gentleman just did was pretty impressive.
So you got a scoop right there. I didn't know it. You didn't know it.
Well, he was also a showman. I mean, who else could fill a 100,000 seat arena for hours for people waiting for one an 8-second jump.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was a master showman.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So Evil Knievel, as you were growing up, that's your guy. Why Rod Serling? You only met him briefly. Why?
Well, because you looked into his eyes and you just knew the guy was from another dimension. He was. If there was ever somebody that was probably an alien or had ties to the fifth dimension or the fourth dimension, this was the guy that had it.
Whoa!
I mean, literally, I was like, he was something special.
That's
immediately
cool.
You just knew it.
That's you have some great stories and you have some great memories, and I'm sure when you go down and back to the bricks, if somebody wants to ask you a little question or two, you probably wouldn't a Munster question or something like that.
No, not at all. No, we always have a good time. It's great because the show, the longevity, kids are watching it today with their parents and grandparents and enjoying it. So when the young kids come up, I know that we're good for another generation for sure.
That's amazing. That is amazing, man. You were talking about the original air date back in 1964?
Yeah, September 24th.
I was watching, man. I was it's like, wow.
The 64 was a big year for Detroit, the Mustang.
Yep.
Music, the Beatles.
Yep.
And TV, the
Munsters. And of course Motown. All right, stick around. We got way more to talk about. Back to the Bricks is happening right now. The concert's going to be tomorrow. Motortown All-Stars, Dave Langness. The show starts about 7 o'clock, right? All right, that's the deal. The deal here is Butch Patrick going to be hanging with us for a while. So I'll tell you what, if you'd like to maybe ask a question, 810-230-9777. Stick around. Pearl Jam coming up.
103.9 The Fox.
103.9 The Fox, Flint's Classic Rock Authority. There you go, Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, Andre Peters in the Fox Lounge tonight. We're talking back to the Bricks. We've got Al, we've got Steve, and we've got Butch Patrick, a.k.a. Eddie Munster, back in town to hang out at Back to the Bricks, and it was gracious enough to come in our little dog and pony show here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Steve, we're going to start with you right now because we want to get everybody clear on Saginaw closing and how they should approach and what's the deal.
Yep. Well, for the concert, you can park your classic car downtown on the Bricks. Downtown. Come in through Court Street entrance. Come on down, park, bring your lawn chair, come visit the concert, and it's going to be at the river.
Because you're starting at 7 o'clock.
Starting at 7 o'clock. Bring your lawn chair now.
Dave Langness first, and then the Motortown All-Stars come up about an hour after.
And they put on
I
a
keep
show.
hearing about this concert. I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Well,
this is going to be something.
Butch is going to be here at the concert, for
Absolutely.
sure.
This is going to be a fun time down there, and this thing has grown year by year. It's the 14th annual right now, but every year it's grown and grown. What do you attest? Why?
Well, when you provide people with a quality event, and we stress that, and it's no cost, there's no admission, and the word has spread far. We've got people here from California, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, all through the Midwest. A lot of Canadians are over here.
Hey?
And and we say, huh? But at any rate, it's growing beyond our wildest dreams. When you get 40,000 cars over a week,
that's a lot of cars.
And 500,000 people, I guess we're doing something right. But we get great community support, and that's something that's very precious to us. So,
well, again, once again, it's nothing to attend. It's a free event all the way around. If you'd like to buy some merchandise, if you'd like to go get dinner, lunch somewhere, and buy a pop.
I have a Butch Patrick story.
Go ahead.
I met Butch.
This is a family show.
North Fort Myers at a evening cruise-in at the Shell factory down there.
I remember.
And he had so I went up to him, introduced me. He's very personable, easy to talk to. We chatted for a while. He gave me his business card, and I came back and I told the committee, I said, here's a guy. it would be very complimentary to our show. And last year we tried to get a hold of him, but you had booked. He was booked up, and so we got on the ball and got him. He got us on his schedule, and we're so pleased to have you. And I got to tell you one more quick story. There was a young kid come up, and he was dressed in a Eddie Munster costume. And Butch was so gracious to this young lad, and the picture taken with him, and he got the biggest kick out of seeing this young man all dressed up and in a period costume, and that was pretty cool.
I think we're gonna have a really good fit here. It's a very family-friendly event, and I'm looking forward to it.
You're talking about the kid coming up in costume. Yeah. How long did it take you to get into makeup?
Yeah, that was only about an hour a day, and luckily we only filmed 3 days a week for the makeup. Fred, on the other hand, he had 2 hours a day, and his wardrobe and his big foam rubber suit was the problem because it was just so hot.
I bet you he was sweating.
Yeah, he was so uncomfortable. Like I say, we only filmed 3 days a week, so we had 4 days to recover.
How much did those boots add to it? I mean, he was already almost 7 feet.
He was 6'7", and then the shoes added in his headpiece made him 7 foot. Which in 1964 was a tall person.
Yeah. Now, when you first were introduced to the character, when you first saw him dressed up like that, what did you think?
Oh, I just
were you in the same makeup room?
Yeah.
So you saw all this going on?
Well, we would see each other going down the hall and stuff.
Right.
See different stages in the process.
See, this is nonchalant to you, man.
He'd be there at 6. I'd come in at 7, so I would see him halfway into it.
Okay.
And then by the time I was done, I was going out right as he was almost finished. Right. So it was like I'd see him in phases. Hey, Fred. Hey, Butch. Morning.
That's very cool. We just had a caller ask about Yvonne DiCarlo.
Yeah.
First of all, she was in movies. She was a babe back in the day, and then, she went into comedy.
Yeah, Yvonne was a huge star in the 40s and 50s. Probably her biggest role, she starred in the Ten Commandments as Moses. She married Charlton Heston as Sephora. And then she went into television, actually, because her husband was a stuntman, was really badly hurt and couldn't work. And she took the job to pay medical bills as Lily Munster.
Didn't know that.
And she did a great job.
She certainly did. She certainly. I mean, she was funny. You weren't the original. When they did the pilot, though, you weren't the original. Why? How did that all work out? Why?
3 steps. First of all, they offered it to Billy Mooney.
Okay.
And Billy Mooney's mother didn't want him in makeup. I was living in Illinois with my grandmother right after doing The Real McCoys, so I wasn't even in Hollywood during the process. And my agent convinced them that she heard wind that they were looking for a change at the last minute, and Yvonne DiCarlo wasn't the original mom.
Yeah.
So when they got Yvonne DiCarlo on board, she convinced them to fly me out for a screen test, which I did, and they hired us both on the spot.
Had you worked with Yvonne before?
Nope.
No? She just kind of knew you, kind of?
She was the mom, I was the kid, and they put us together, and the rest was Munster history.
Wow. Jeremy asked you a question a little earlier back in the other room.
Yes.
What was one of the most, I think Frank asked that, what was the most scariest moment, some of the malprop that happened on set?
Well, this wasn't scary. I mean, I was on wires. I would get thrown through the ceiling and occasionally bounce off a light or two in the catwalks. It wasn't really too scary. But the most fun we ever had was when Fred Gwynn drove the coach off the lot, unauthorized, I might add, for a little joyride when he was told to come back immediately, which is just, you don't tell Fred to do anything and expect him to do it. You can ask him, but you don't tell him. So he went out the front gate, and everybody that saw the car and us in full makeup was looking around for the camera car, because there has to be a camera car around here. Right. The Munsters aren't just going down to the store for bread,
That's funny. So we were just driving around outside the lodge. What studios was that? Paramount? Universal. All right, so you're here for Back to the Bricks. It's a wonderful event, and it gets even better when we have people like you in here, man.
I'm honored to be here. This is great. Going to have a good turnout. I understand the weather's going to be good, and it's all coming together.
Yes. Let's talk about real quick. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer, our friend Jennifer from Cops and Robbers Ice Cream and Gift.
I'll take some more cake now, Jennifer. She brought this incredible Eddie Munster cake. It's awesome.
A frequent guest here in the Fox Lounge. So nice job, young lady. Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, she says, why are you like that today? You're not your usual self. You seem subdued.
I know.
You seem subdued.
I won't bite much.
No, I'm going to take this microphone.
She's getting better.
No, well.
She's coming out of her shell.
Yeah, Frank called, and, I said I would do this, and I swear he said it was tomorrow.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so he called at 6:30. He's like, are you on your way? I said, am I on my way where? To Home Depot? Yes, I'm on my way to Home Depot. And he said, no. I was like, oh, that's tonight? You said tomorrow. I said, well, actually, they were finishing up the cake, so it worked out fine. I just went back, grabbed the cake. iced it down, and here we are.
Wow, that was fantastic without the story, but that's really good.
Yeah, is that really impressed you?
I'm really impressed. You always impress me. You're going to be, what are you coming in, Monday? We'll see you Monday, something like that?
Yeah,
next week? One day next week you'll be back in. But nice cake, very nicely done. If you want something done, by the way, she can do a cake. She can do
we
just
turn it really
anything.
quick.
Yeah, they do. Obviously.
We work well under pressure.
All right, stick around. Way more to talk about. Back to the Bricks is happening. It's going on right now. The concert is tomorrow night. Motortown All-Stars and Dave Langness. And if you drive up and down Saginaw Street right now, you'll be in good company because
we want them to tune in to 103.9 and get that radio cranked up on Saginaw Street, and you can do it right tonight.
Al, I love you. Al, I love you.
I'm going to become Magic Man now.
Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, stick around. Way more to talk about. Back to the Bricks in town. 103.9, the Fox Flint's Classic Rock Authority. Whatever happened to Eddie? Well, I think we figured out what happened to Eddie. Eddie is hanging out right here in the Fox studios. All right, brother, explain yourself.
Okay, 1981. This little upstart MTV comes on the air. 1982, I meet a guy named Phil Cohn who used to be bass player with Stuart Copeland in a group called Curved Air. They got rid of him and they hired Sting because he could sing. So we decided we wanted to make rock videos. We didn't have a band, so we put together some musicians. My brother, Rick Havoc, Brett Black, and we did a studio thing of Whatever Happened to Eddie, which is the Munsters theme. The deal was I was supposed to be singing. That's actually my guitar player singing, but he sounded a lot like me. And Phil was a great bass player, so he did the bass, and I wrote the lyrics. So I was the original Munster Manilli. I was faking the bass and lip singing, but I did write the lyrics. And we were the first unsigned act ever to be on MTV, which then led to the Basement Tapes, which helped a lot of other unsigned acts get some exposure and record deals. So we actually benefited a lot of careers with that little video.
Very impressive. You can find that on YouTube, by the way, if you'd like to see the visual to go along with the audio.
Andre, he was doing deep cuts before you were.
I know. It's amazing what $3,500 can do in one night shoot with 35 extras.
How much?
$3,500.
That ain't bad.
Yep, and we had like 35 or 40 extras in 3 locations, all done in one night.
That's funny.
It was amazing.
Nicely done. It's a pretty cool video for only, doing it in one night like that, kind of on a low budget.
Yep.
Very cool.
On a shoestring.
You want to see this guy? You see him tomorrow. He's going to be at Back to the Bricks both days, Friday and Saturday, right?
And I have my Munster coach and Dragula and props. We have a baby Spot. We have a Spot hatching out of an egg. We have an Eddie mannequin that sits in the back. The display is very impressive. All Munster goodies, very good visuals. And if you like Munster cars and the Dragula and the Munster coach, even though they're tribute vehicles, they're really right on.
Yeah, he's going to be at the hot dog lunch too out in Burton at Elko Corporate from 10 to 2. So if you got a classic car, stop on out there. You get a free lunch and you get to meet Eddie and take pictures.
Where's that again?
That's on South Center Road, Elko Corporate headquarters, right next door to Myers.
Okay.
They're going to be giving away hot dogs and chips, soft drink. But you got to have a classic car to get that free lunch. But everybody's welcome though.
There you go. Free dog, Eddie Munster, a.k.a. Butch Patrick.
What more can you ask for?
This guy is like extremely cool. We're asking him all kinds of silly questions here, and he's more than happy to answer these things because we're all kind of like starstruck. I truly am. Like I said.
Well, it would help to get a star in here.
Magic Man, he's down to earth.
He's just a very cool guy. He's just,
One more time. Is there a concert?
Oh, the concert. Do you like to know the concert? Yeah, right down there tomorrow night, starting about 7 o'clock, the Motortown All-Stars.
That's it.
And
that's the one.
Dave Langness is going to be opening up the show, so, yeah, you're going to watch.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a great ending to a great day.
Oh, man, and it happens again the next day on Saturday, too.
Oh, I don't want to put him out of business. I put Metro Media out of the record business in 72. I'm not going down that road.
He's going to be with us, though.
I'll be there.
Oh, man. Yeah. Butch Patrick, he signed up for the weekend, man.
He's here for the weekend with us, with his cars.
Wouldn't miss it.
I'm going to tell you, have you ever been in Flint before?
I have. I was here a few months ago.
Okay, but you really didn't, you were here, you did a quickie, and you met some executives.
I really haven't I'm looking forward to the whole weekend. I am.
Wait till you meet the people. Till you meet, these are just... blue collar, happy to meet anybody that comes in and graces our town. We don't get a lot, you know what I mean?
It's good.
Everybody kind of
good solid Americana.
That's it, man.
It's just like the Munsters.
People are going to be so excited to see you down there. He's going to be set up in the flat lot.
A lot of Flintstones look like the Munsters too.
The what?
Yeah.
I mean that with love. I'm a Flintstone.
The Flintstones were based on the Honeymooners.
I hate to say that, but Jeremy's right. I've met a few Hermans in my day here in Flint. Dude, what's
where's this going?
Where's your time going?
Well, like you said, we're just playing it by ear, man. We're just having fun in the studio. That's all. Well, I'll remind everybody. I mean, this goes by way too fast every time we have somebody like this that has all these great stories. Back to the Bricks. It's going on right now. The big party happens on the flat lot tomorrow night. A Saturday. The concert tomorrow night. Motortown All Stars. Dave Langness. I keep forgetting. I want to say it like French Langness, but I know it's Langness. Yeah,
Langness. Dave.
Anyway. Invite everybody down to your affair.
Boy, I'll tell you, please come on down. We're back down to Flint, where we belong, downtown. Bring your classic car, park on the Bricks, come in through Court Street, bring a lawn chair to sit. Everybody's going to be there. Butch is going to be there, I'll tell you.
It's going to be fun. What time are you going to hang out? What time do you get there?
I'll be there early. I'll be there when I think it opens at 8. I'll be there at 8.
This guy's not fooling around.
I'm serious.
He's not one of those cushy stars.
Why would I want to sit in a hotel room when I could be down there having a great time?
You're going to have a great time.
I know.
You really will. It's we're going to have really good weather for you, too. And it was just a blast. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Next time you're in town, please, man.
I'll be here, man.
I appreciate it. Al, and Steve, you guys are just amazing people.
Well, I don't know if we're amazing, but we're dedicated.
You put this all on, and it's free for 14 years. You're pretty amazing people.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's due to our sponsors. They're the fuel in the tank. If if they didn't help us out, we wouldn't have Butch here. We wouldn't have Carl Casper here. It takes money to make these things happen, and our sponsors do a great job for us.
Certainly do.
And we want to keep it free to the people.
Well, you take their money and you spend it wisely.
Well, we try to. We want to give them the biggest bang for their buck.
For free. For free. It doesn't cost anything to go down there if you'd like to purchase some of that Munster merch.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
Stuff there, but it doesn't cost you anything to get a photo
know.
taken, and you can have a lot of fun for free.
And here's the man. He can sign that T-shirt or that hat or whatever you have. He's got a book out.
You got your copies of your book?
Oh, sure.
You got copies?
We got about 15 different items on the table. It's like I say, it's like a brick and mortar store. Awesome. On wheels.
Go get them. Jennifer from Cops and Robbers.
Thank you for that wonderful cake.
That was good cake. Always a pleasure.
The Eddie Munster cake that was supposed to be here tomorrow. She did a hell of a job.
Now that's magic.
Now that is magic. Everybody from Back to the Bricks, especially Butch Patrick, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you guys being here, and it all happens.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, I guess we were on Facebook the whole time? Maybe? Possibly?
The Ram Summer Clearance.